Tonight, find out how health experts are debunking common myths surrounding the vaccine and why children are at the center of it.
Why residents of Oswego fought for what they believe in on World Strike Day.
And Oswego Mayor Billy Barlow's announcement that will help businesses stay afloat during the pandemic.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Matt Carnavale.
And I'm Jocelyn Decker.
Mayor Billy Barlow announced grant funding awards to local businesses and nonprofit organizations throughout the city of Oswego earlier this afternoon on his Twitter. This is the second round of funding under the city's COVID-19 revival to assist with recovering from the pandemic. Recipients include Burger Karate School, Blossom and Bloom Boutique, 3.21 Salads, and the Cellar Door.
The first round of revival funding provided $340,000 to local businesses. The city's revival fund in total has provided funding to 19 different nonprofit organizations, 4 civic clubs, and over 50 local businesses. For more information, visit the City of Oswego's Economic Development Office.
Election results are in. The Oswego County Board of Elections have released their unofficial board of candidates that will serve alongside Mayor Billy Barlow. Barlow says he is glad to announce that all 7 council members will return to serve for another 2 years and that they make a good team. The 7 members will serve alongside Barlow in his last term for mayor of Oswego.
As election results come to an end, Oswego residents are back on their feet, fighting for what they believe in. After hearing from the CDC yesterday, who issued the immediate usage of vaccine doses to children ages 5 to 11 have taken to the streets to participate in World Strike Day, an event geared towards fighting the vaccine mandate as an infringement on their rights. Our reporter, Malene Higgins, was able to talk with one of the protesters to gain some insight into the events earlier this afternoon.
It's a matter of choice. My body, my choice. It's okay for abortion, but it's not okay for vaccines. That's something you got to think about. Like, why is it okay for one thing, but not okay for another?
Melanie Higgins was also able to sit down with assistant broadcast engineer at SUNY Oswego, Sean Secure, to talk about his feelings on the mandates being set in place.
Working on a college campus, I feel a lot safer having a mandate because I don't know what everyone's doing with their lives. So, I mean, it's just kind of an extra precaution.
Recent legislation by Oswego officials allows them to not enforce any local, state, or federal mandates, but they encourage everyone to follow what makes them the most comfortable living in the county.
The fight over COVID-19 vaccine mandates continues across the state, heating up within police and fire agencies. Isabel Rogers breaks down the headbutting coast to coast and the new implement rule from the Labor Department.
Escalating tensions over COVID-19 vaccine mandates.
We're pro-vaccine, we're just anti-mandate.
In New York City, a spike of sick call-outs. About 2,300 firefighters out since the vaccine mandate went into effect Monday. Mayor Bill de Blasio warns there will be consequences.
The folks who are faking it are doing an immense disservice to the people of this city and to their fellow members of service.
The city now investigating whether the firefighters union coordinated a protest sick-out.
The assertion that thousands of firefighters are faking on medical leave, we reject. The staffing issues in this city are not germane to medical leave.
Despite the battle over mandates, de Blasio says they work. In the last 13 days, 24,000 more city workers got the shot. About 92% of city employees have received at least 1 dose. So far, less than 3% of the city's workforce is on unpaid leave for refusing to comply. The mayor insists New Yorkers remain safe with no service disruption. Los Angeles County Sheriff refusing to enforce a vaccine mandate on county employees, including his deputies.
We have to provide public safety, and right now I'm severely understaffed as it is. To throw this on top of that, you're really tempting the hand of fate.
In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
And in the coming days, a new Labor Department rule will mandate a COVID-19 vaccine for private businesses with 100 or more employees.
As mandates continue to be set in place, New York City is taking steps to end such regulations. Starting Thursday, city-run COVID vaccination sites will be available for children ages 5 to 11 in New York City. The Pfizer vaccine will be offered at pediatricians, offices, pharmacies, hospitals, and schools throughout the next week. Mayor de Blasio says, quote, "Tomorrow's going to be a historic day for the city in our fight against COVID as we reach the youngest New Yorkers," end quote. The city hopes to give every child the chance to get vaccinated.
It's one of the biggest concerns from parents. Could the vaccine impair their child's future fertility? Mandy Gather has more in today's Health Minute.
It's official. Children ages 5 to 11 are now eligible to receive Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine.
Having that 5 to 11 vaccine available to them is a huge achievement for us as pediatricians. So we're very eagerly excited to be able to finally vaccinate this age group.
A recent survey found that 66% of parents with children in that age group worry that vaccines might negatively impact children's future fertility.
It unfortunately came from a bit of misinformation, and it got picked up in the press and propagated through social media.
The American Academy of Pediatrics, or AAP, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists are united with other doctors and public health officials in saying fertility is not a concern when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine.
I would be the first person who would jump up and down and make a fuss if there was a connection here. There simply is not, and we don't need to worry about this one.
AAP spokesperson Dr. Hina Taleb also says the COVID-19 vaccine won't affect puberty and won't permanently alter menstrual cycles. Any parent with vaccine concerns is urged to reach out to their child's doctor.
I think most pediatricians will be able to talk you through what you need to know in order to make that informed decision. And it's based on science, it's based on research, it's not based on some of the fear-based information that we're seeing on the internet.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
There are also fears about the HPV vaccine and the risks of infertility in the U.S. Fears stoked by rumors the vaccine somehow caused the condition of primary ovarian insufficiency, but several large studies have shown that this is not true.
The Onondaga Nation were denied from speaking in court regarding the removal of a Christopher Columbus statue in Syracuse. The nation's lawyer, Joseph Heath, says that his group deserves a say in the case as the statue stands on a historic Onondaga ground. A judge then denied the group from speaking, saying the group didn't raise any legal issues about the statue's removal. The judge will hear arguments about the case on December 9th. Coming up later tonight, a historic election season celebrating diversity.
And find out why moving inland could be soon a very good idea.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Evan Biedron.
Hi, just for tonight, we can see some wintry mix making their way into the earlier hours of tomorrow morning. Temperatures mainly in the upper to mid 30s. And we can see some warmer temperatures making their way just in time for the weekend. And for next week, we see some more sun return, and I'll have more for you after the break.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day.
Okay.
It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
13-10 meteorologist.
2 as well. Visions from Tanner Smith.
Go to 2 and 1.
10 with 6 and 10 on the year.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Hi, welcome back to WTOP 10. I'm your meteorologist, Evan Bedron. For the rest of this week, we can see some rain, snow, wintry mix up until Friday evening. By the time the weekend rolls along, we see some slightly warmer temperatures in the low to mid 50s. And next week, when next week comes around, we can see some sun returning and warmer temperatures in the lower 50s. On this date, November 3rd, 1989, 6 cities in Texas, Minnesota, and Michigan reported record low temperatures. The low of 7 above 0 at Marquette, Missouri, or Michigan, was their coldest temperature ever recorded on record. And for temperatures across New York, we can see some colder temperatures in the upper 30s around Oswego area. As you move in towards the Adirondacks, we can see some temperatures in the upper 20s, lower 30s. And as you move closer towards the Long Island region, we can see some temperatures in the 45 to 49 region. And for tonight's forecast, we can see temperatures in the mid-30s, showers likely, and we do have that possibility of some snow with winds generally light coming off the lake. And for your bus stop forecast, make sure to send those kids off with a winter coat because it will be cold, and we do have the chance of wintry mix. But by the time the afternoon rolls along, make sure they still have that coat on. Rain and snow should stop, it would just be cloudy. And for your your frost forecast for tomorrow morning, it would take maybe a couple seconds to scrape off that car, not too long. And then for your hourly forecast for tomorrow, temperatures generally in the upper 30s, the lower 40s with that rain-snow mix heading into the afternoon, rain for the rest of the afternoon. And then as you move into the later days of Thursday, you can see clouds and temperatures in the lower 40s. And for your 7-day forecast, you can see Thursday and Friday, wintry mix, rain. And then Saturday, we can see some sun, clouds, temperatures in the lower 50s. And when next week rolls along, we see temperatures in the upper 50s to mid 50s. And we'll have more for you coming up after the break.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Our son Arjun was born with cystic fibrosis. CF is a genetic disease that shortens lives. When the foundation was founded in 1955, children with CF rarely live long enough to attend kindergarten. Today, thanks to the foundation's groundbreaking research, advocacy, and care, some people with CF are attending college, getting married, and starting families. We've made amazing progress, but until a cure is found for all people with CF, we will not stop. Help us add tomorrows. Visit cff.org today.
Is there a danger hiding in your home? Unused opioid medicines could harm your family. Find your unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups and learn how to dispose of them safely at fda.gov/drug disposal.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. A 40-year-old Australian girl is back home, safe with her family, nearly 3 weeks after disappearing from their campsite. Ivan Watson has more details.
Australian police call it the miracle they were hoping for. The pre-dawn rescue of 4-year-old Cleo Smith, found safe and sound 18 days after she first went missing. An ordeal that began at this remote camping site on October 16th. Cleo's mother says on the first morning of a family camping trip, she woke up to find her daughter gone.
The tent was completely open. It was about 30 centimeters from being open, and I turned around to Jake and I just said, like, Claire's gone.
The child's disappearance triggered a manhunt that spread nationwide. The state government offering $1 million Australian dollar reward for information, echoed by desperate appeals from Cleo's family.
Really all we need is a little go home.
Police announced they solved the mystery early Wednesday morning.
The outcome was achieved at about 1 a.m. this morning, when 4 officers went in and broke down the door and found little Cleo in a room. And as you can see, she's alive, she's safe, and she's back with Mum and Dad.
Police found her alone in this house in her family's hometown of Carnarvon, some 30 miles or 48 kilometers from the camping site.
I just wanted to be absolutely sure that, it certainly looked like Cleo. I wanted to be absolutely sure it was her, so I said, "What's your name?" And she didn't answer, and I said, "What's your name?" She didn't answer again, so I asked her a third time, and then she looked at me and she said, "My name's Cleo."
Yes. Police say Cleo was physically unharmed and reunited soon after with her parents. Police have a 36-year-old man who is unrelated to Cleo's family currently in custody. They say they expect to press charges for what they describe as an opportunistic abduction soon. The rescue, which officials describe as the result of a hard police grind involving 140 police officers, is now being celebrated across the country. But most importantly, by her parents. Cleo's mother, Ellie, announcing, "Our family is whole again." Ivan Watson, CNN.
Good news for Cleo's family. If you have information about any missing children, please call the National Center for Missing Children and Exploited Children.
In news a little closer to home, on election night, people of color made a history with a majority of voters embracing minority candidates, bringing diversity to some of America's biggest cities and leadership roles. One of the wins is Michelle Wu, elected into the position of Boston's mayor. She is the first woman and person of color to take this position. Another is Eric Adam, becoming the second black mayor of New York City. He told the people as he was accepted into office, quote, "I am you."
Stronger than expected performances by the Republican Party Tuesday signal a reckoning amongst Democrats as they look for what went wrong for them on Election Day. Chris Gwen breaks it all down.
Across the country, Democrats are analyzing their results in key races that many view as a preview of the 2022 midterm.
On day one, we're going to work. We're going to restore excellence in our schools.
In the Virginia governor's race, Republican business executive Glenn Youngkin with a decisive victory over former Democratic Governor Terry McAuliffe. The blame game already beginning, with Virginia Senator Tim Kaine placing it on congressional Democrats.
You got to be able to make a deal and deliver results. They want more results, and we got to deliver because we are the majority and they expect us to deliver.
In New Jersey, in a race still too close to call, Phil Murphy seeking to become the first Democratic incumbent governor to win re-election in that state in more than 40 years. There were some bright spots for the Democrats, with Michelle Wu becoming the first woman and person of color to be elected as mayor of Boston.
Between tackling big problems with bold solutions and filling our potholes. To make change at scale and at street level. We deserve both.
And with many concerned about the economy and the pandemic, newly elected officials are now trying to navigate a path forward.
You have to get stuff done. And the reality is to continue to debate after the election is just a failing solution for the people on the ground.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
An update to election results. Democratic candidate Bill Murphy wins New Jersey governor election. Scientists are concerned about how quickly the ice covering Greenland is melting. Greenland has the second biggest ice sheet in the world, just behind Antarctica. New research published in the journal Nature Communications says between 2011 and 2020, 3.5 trillion tons of ice sheets melted that would be enough to flood all of New York City with over 14,000 feet of water. Over the past decade, global sea levels increased by 1 centimeter due to the melting.
Coming up in sports, Alex Brooks.
Alex, can you give us a quick preview?
Yes, I can. Awards being presented to 3 individual Lakers after a successful sports weekend. Taking a look at both the Sabres and Rangers road matchups. And the MLB World Series was electric last night. All this coming up after the break.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day. Okay. It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
1310 meteorologist.
2 as well. Visions for Tanner Spink.
Go to 2 and 1.
2 with 6 and 10 on the year.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm your sports anchor, Alex Brooks, and let's dive right in. On Monday, SUNYAC honored Georgia Ferry, naming her the final 2021 Presto Sports Volleyball Offensive Athlete of the Week. Ferry played a huge role in the Lakers going 3-1 at the Skidmore tournament, reaching double digits in kills in all 4 consecutive matches. She made an immediate impact with securing 45 kills and 14 blocks. She concluded the season leading in points, kills, and blocks. Overall, the Laker volleyball team finished the season on a good note, winning 5 out of their 7 contests with a record of 12-14. More awards coming as Oswego sophomores Joanna Hybert and Megan Teachout were both named for First Week Awards by the Northeast Women's Hockey League for their performances over the weekend. Hybert took home the honor of League's First Goalie of the Week, while Teachout was named the League's First Player of the Week for the 2021-22 season. Magnificent performances from these 2 athletes this weekend, with Hybert recording 31 saves and Teachout scoring 3 goals, including game winners in both contests against Adrian and Trine. The Buffalo Sabres went on the road last night to face the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks were without several players as well as their coach due to COVID-19. In the first period, they striked first with Jonathan Dahlen able to give momentum to San Jose early in the game, With a 3-1 lead, the Sabres were able to pull within one with 6 minutes left in the second period. However, the Sabres couldn't keep up the momentum headed into the final period, and it led to a 5-3 defeat. As their West Coast struggles continue, Buffalo looks to regroup to their final game this trip against the Seattle Kraken. In other news, MLB, Game 6 of the 2021 World Series, Braves-Astros. Let's dive right into it. Top of the third, 3-2 pitch, Jorge Soler hits an absolute rocket to left field, out of the ballpark to give the Braves a 3-0 lead early in the game. Fast forward to the top of the fifth, runner on second, Dansby Swanson gets all of it out to left field to extend Atlanta's lead to 5-0. Swanson, batting ninth in the lineup, gives all the momentum to the Braves, getting late early in the game. Max Fried versus Kyle Tucker. Fried strikes him out for his third strikeout for the game. He would end the game with 6 scoreless innings and 6 strikeouts. Bottom 9, 2 outs. Yuli Gurriel chops one to Swanson. Swanson throws to first, and the Atlanta Braves, after 26 years, are world champions. Jorge Soler takes home World Series MVP, and the city of Atlanta can rejoice as they finally have a champion. Wow.
Man, it's great to see that the Atlanta sports curse is finally broken.
After everything that's happened with the Super Bowl and college football, man, it's a great sight to see.
All right, well, we're going to take one more quick look at weather with Evan Biedron.
Yeah, just for tonight, you can see some more wintry mix, colder temperatures in the mid-30s. Heading into the weekend, temperatures warm up, sun starts to come out, starts to become more nice fall-like weather around here. And on into next week, still see those temperatures in the mid to high 50s, with sunshine still returning.
All right, well, that's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for Madcaps.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
I'm a lot more confident and a lot more sure of my abilities.
At Oswego is where I really found myself and became the person I am. You work hard and you play hard. I love the environment of SUNY Oswego.
Made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.